Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you how you can collaborate with your team on an automation tasks. For us, for example, we're getting an automation from a system and it's been sent to the entire team and everyone gets it and no one knows if someone dealt with it or not. And we wanted a central location to see everything and for people to also say if they're dealt with it, if they close the task or not. And I'm going to show you how to use the Office 365 world for doing just so. So for that, I'm going to start by creating a team because my goal is to have a place where people in my team can communicate on tasks, on these specific tasks, and have a chat on it and also view all of them. So I'll start with a team. I can start with a team in the browser. If you are in office.com, go to office.com, you'll have Teams here. It will open in the browser. I have the team application. I'll use the team application, but it's exactly the same thing. So let's start by creating a new team. So click on join or create a new team, create a team from scratch, private. Let's call it tasks, docstube, create. I'll just leave myself for now. I'll be the only member of this team for this second, so skip. And congratulations, I have my new team and with a channel called General inside it. So what I'm going to do right now is to create a flow that will create a new conversation each time such an email arrives to my inbox. So for that, let's go to the Power Automate, or what was once called Flow. So again, go to office.com. You'll have it here on the left side. It's called Power Automate. Where is it? Power Automate. And this is the team on the browser. You see it's the same thing. I can click on join or create a team. It's the same thing. I'll close it. Okay, so let's start by creating a new flow. So I'll click on create. I'll do an automated flow. Let's call it tasks docstube. And what will be the trigger? So let me search for email. So the trigger will be when a new email arrives. You'll see it belongs to Office 365 Outlook. I'll click on that and I'll click on create. So what's going to happen when a new email arrives in the folder inbox. For now, I'll do it only when it comes from this mailbox. Okay, so that's the trigger. When a new email arrives at the inbox from this sender, what to do? So next step is what to do. So go to Teams and let's say um, post a message. And it asks which team. So we'll choose the one that we just created. Let's post it in the general. Okay, and in the body, we're going to take an dynamic content. What is the dynamic content? Is the content from this object when a new email arrives. So we're going to take the body of the message, and this will what will appear in Teams. Let's click on save. Saving, saved. Okay, it's saved. So for now, let me just emulate one of those. Let me send such an email. Okay, so the email arrived in my inbox. Let's see what happens in Teams. Voila. In Teams, we got a new message with everything inside. People can can immediately start, hi, I'm dealing with this. Okay, so they can communicate on every message, and it will happen with any message that comes. It will just post a new conversation in the team, and people can react, can communicate, can say they're dealing with it, and you can have all the history, and everyone will join the team in the future. Will see all the history of this ticket and of this thread of this conversation. Okay, so that was just one option. One option is just to put it as a new post conversation. Another thing we can do, and I'm going to do, is to create a list, and the list will be an issue tracker list. So let's click here on the three dots, search for lists, add to a team, and we're going to use the team that I just created, the tasks docstube, set up a tab. Let's save it. And let's click on create a list, because up until now we just created the tab here. So these are the templates that Microsoft gives us. For now, I'll choose the issue tracker. You have a few more of them. Those are just out of the box, but the list can be anything. You can create anything, it's just the names of the columns. So I'll take the issue tracker, use template. That's fine. Let's give it a icon and a color. Okay, so for now we have a list. Out of the box, an empty list with a few columns. The first column is issue. The second is issue description, priority, status, assigned to, etc. And each column we can rename. Each column we can move, we can hide, um, and of course we can edit more columns, and we can remove column or hide column. Okay, so now let's jump back to our flow. This was our flow. What we did until now is post a message, and we're going to do a new step. We're going to um, create a new SharePoint list item. This one, create item in SharePoint. Create item in SharePoint. Now you're thinking to yourself, what SharePoint's got to do with all of that, because we were in Teams, right? So let me show you. So I'm in Teams. It's the same Teams that we're seeing, the general, the same list, right? The issue tracker here. So if I'll let's go to the files for a second, and you can click on Open in SharePoint. So when you click on Open in SharePoint, it automatically redirects you to the SharePoint of this team, because team itself does not hold any information. It all relies on something else, be it the mailbox of the user or be it the SharePoint to hold the file and the lists. So if we'll go to the site content, you see it also has the same name, also in the URL and also in the site name. We can see that the list that we just created is here. So it's basically the same list and basically the same. You just see it in Teams rather than see it in SharePoint. We'll get to SharePoint in a second. So back to Flow. So the site address is, we can copy it from here, or it probably will be here. No, it's not here, so I'll just copy it. And you see it has the list already here after I put in the site name. So I'll choose the list name, issue tracker, and now it has all the list columns. So let's say for the title, let me put in again, when a new email arrives, I'll take the subject. And for the priority, let's say everything is critical for now. And what else can we say? Issue description. Let's take the body of the message. Save. Saving. Save. Okay, let's test it again. Okay. Okay, I got a new email. Okay. So we have another post. And in the issue tracker, hmm, okay, I see it just comes here in the issue description with an HTML format that says HTML head, etc. So we'll just get rid of that also. We can do it in both ways. We can add another step in between saying convert HTML to plain text, and then it will show well. But for now, I'll just do it again using plain text, so just it will show it well for just for this example. Let's just do it again. Okay, let's wait a second. I'll get an email. Okay, I got the email. Let's see the task. Okay, so now we see the task well because plain text works well. For HTML, we can have another step in between, convert HTML to plain text. So now we have a list task, a task list, sorry. And you can click on the item to see it, what happens. You can edit it, and you can change, where's the edit? And you can edit it, let's say status in progress, and assign to someone. Okay, saved, back to list, sorry, and you have everything. So I'll stop the video for a second, I'll pause it, I'll send a few of those emails again, so we'll have a few more list items. Okay, so I've sent a few more emails just so we'll have a few more items in the list so we can see it. And also there are posts. Each email creates a post as well. So here the HTML works well and the plain text works less than well. But in any case, we can accommodate it in the flow, switch from HTML and switch from to plain text. But I'm just showing you the fundamentals right now, just to get the concept on how it works. So we have uh, conversation, as we said, we can communicate on that, and we have the issue tracker list as well, where items, new emails that are arriving are being set as a new task here, and we saw it in the SharePoint as well. And let me just show you in the flow. So here in the flow, it's when a new email arrives, post a message and create an item. And here you have the flow checker that will say that everything works well. You can save it, you can test it based on previous runs, right? And if you really want to see what it does behind the scene, you can go to your flows, click on the flow, and click on one of the histories that was running. And here you can see that everything worked well. And if you click on it, it actually shows you what it did. Probably, here it is. So it went to the address, the list, and in the post message, same thing. So it shows you what it did if you want to investigate if something happens, if you created something and it didn't happen as you thought it should. Okay, so that was the flow. We'll go back to it in a second. Let's switch for the to the SharePoint site for a second, where we saw that the list is here. What we're going to do right now is create a new page, just showing that list for a little bit nicer. So I'll click on the gear button. I'll click on add a page. Okay, let's say the name of the page is tasks page. Let me remove myself. Let me choose an image. Okay. Um, don't show this. And I'll add each page. You can add parts to that page. So let me click on that plus sign. I'll add the part. And the part that I'm going to add is a list. and it's going to ask me which list I want to use. In our example, we have only one list, so this is the list. I'll click on it. Okay, and just entered the list web part to this page. And if I'll click here on edit this web part, we see that it can have auto size, fit the number of items, small, about 15 items. So for this one, let me just put here 5 items. Apply and publish. Okay, so let me take the page address, copy address. If you don't do it, you can do it from here as well. Okay, let me do edit again. Don't show the comments on this page. And not sure why it shows only 2 items. Okay, so I took the page. Let me go switch back to the themes. I'm going to click here on the plus, and I'm going to choose a web page. Where is it? Website. Tasks, 15 items. Paste the URL. I'll click on this double arrow icon. Okay, so now you have in Teams your task lists automated from your email in a page showing just 15 of them. You can click on any one of them, assign them, change the status, do whatever you want. Um, you have here the full list, the issue tracker, the list itself. That's just a page showing the list. And everything is automatic. And before we finish, another minute, now you're asking yourself how users can connect to it, and they connect to it from Teams and from SharePoint, and they can connect to it from their mobile as well. We'll see it in another 3 minutes and we'll finish. So in your SharePoint site, you go to site content and you go to that list, that issue tracker list. You decided to open in a new tab, okay? And you see this button, PowerApp. We're going to click on create an app. Let's call it task app docstube create. Okay, so that's it. The app is created and connected to your list. I'll click on play here. This is what the end user sees. He can go inside the task, he can edit it, change the priority, assign it to someone, click on save. That's it. It's changed in the list itself because that's just a representation of the list. And to do it on the mobile, a user just need to install the application because this will work on iOS and Android out of the box because it's you won't see it in the store. You need to install an application that's called PowerApp in your on your mobile. Install an application called Power Apps by Microsoft. And once you log into that, you'll have the Power App that you created. Now, I just created this one, and now I can share it with other people on my team, regardless if on the list itself. This is just sharing of the app, and that's it. So in half an hour, you can have an automation with a task list, with an email automation. You can add another step on the flow to send another email, do another step, close it, delete the email after you receive it. You have a nice web page that shows you all. You have a mobile application um, to manage those tasks and items, and it takes half an hour. So go for it, try it, and automate your team tasks. Thank you.